Today we will be making this easy farmer's market bag. You will need approximately 330 yards of worsted yarn and a 5.5 millimeter hook. Feel free to make this in every color, and please be sure to subscribe to catch all of my latest patterns and tutorials. Alright, let's get right into it. To begin, you are going to create a magic circle and double crochet 12 times into that. I've already gone ahead and begun. Your first double crochet, you could do a chain 3. That counts as your first double crochet. You will probably need another minute or so to complete this step, so you can pause this video and press play when you're ready to move on to the next round. Just remember when you reach the end of your row to slip stitch into that third chain, that first double crochet you made, so that way you close the circle. Anyway, get to work and we will meet when it's time to move on. Once you have closed that circle, you have completed that round, it's time to move on to the next one. Your first double crochet will consist of 3 chains. And now going forward, every stitch from the previous round is going to get 2 double crochets in them. So your first round you worked 12 double crochets. At the end of this round you will have 24 double crochets. So while you are doubling your stitch count in the second round, the point of this is you began with 12. So in each round going forward, you're going to add 12 more to your count. So your third round you'll have 36, your fourth round you'll have 48, and so on. For the base of this bag, we will end up with a total of 96 stitches around. So that is 8 rows, so we will be working this a couple more times. I have written out what the sequence is for each of the 8 rounds, and I'm going to bring that up in just a moment. Just one thing to remember is at the beginning of each round you're going to do a chain 3, and that counts as your first double crochet. And then at the end of the round you're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 to close your circle. So just keep that in mind going forward, and when you get to those rounds that I've written out, you could pause there and it'll be very simple. That way you won't have to keep going back and there's no guesswork. It tells you exactly what the sequence is. And now we are closing this round up so we can move on to the next one. And as I've mentioned earlier, I have it written out here what every round consists of. We've already done this first round. We've done the second, where we've doubled it. We are now on the third. So just to show you real quick, it says you would do 1 double crochet and then 2 in the next stitch. So you would do your chain 3 there, that counts as your first double crochet. Then you would do 2 there, 1 there, 2 there, 1 there, and so on. This is a great place to pause. You have right in front of you what you need to help you through the next 6 rounds. Remember that first double crochet is always going to be a chain 3, and then you follow the sequence as written. Once you finish the base of your bag, then you could press play and we will work on the body of it together. You have completed your circle. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds. And now we're ready to move on, so chain 4. You will skip that next stitch and double crochet into the next one. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. You will continue that chain 1, skip 1, double crochet all the way around. When you get to the very end of this round, you will chain 1, you will skip 1, and then you will slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. That'll finish off this round and prepare you for the next one. If you would like to pause here and press play when you're ready to move on to the next round, now is a good time to do that. You're moving right along, so chain 3 times. And you will double crochet into that chain space. Next, double crochet. You will now be double crocheting all the way around. Do not skip the chain spaces. And remember, once you've reached the end of this round, you will slip stitch into the top of that chain 3, which is your first double crochet. You can pause here and we will meet when you're ready to move on. With that round done, we are about to get very repetitive with these last 2 rounds that we just did. We will be repeating them a total of 9 more times. So that chain space round as well as the double crochet round, they will be repeated 9 more times. If you want to go back in the video to see the instructions again, you could go back to 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Either way, we have a lot of work ahead of us, so I will see you once you finish these next 18 rounds. You could pause here and we will meet when you're ready. Once you have completed that, you could tie off your ends and weave them in. You have completed the body of your bag. Now it's time to make some straps. You could make them my way, your own way, you could buy some, whatever you want to do. But if you want to do it my way, then just keep on watching. The first step to creating my straps, I like to create a row of foundation half double crochet. If you need any help with foundation half double crochet, I will drop the link to my tutorial in the description. Now, the amount you will need, that is completely up to you. It depends on your tension, and it also depends on how long you want your strap to be. I'm going to make mine approximately 30 inches, so I will measure along the way and stop there. So this is a good place to pause and make your foundation as long as you need it. And then we could press play, meet up again, and move on to the next step. Once you have completed your foundation half double crochet, I would take note of how many times you did it, just so your second strap could be equal. But moving right along, we are going to fold these in half, and you're going to slip through the top and the bottom of your foundation half double crochet, and you're slip stitching through. So you just put your hook through the top and the bottom, slip stitch through. You might have your own way to do a strap, and you could do that if you want. Just this is how I prefer to do mine. I find that it creates a closed cord that doesn't stretch, opposed to many straps that I've tried before that stretch out a bit too much, and then over the life of the bag they just become a little bit useless. But this helps ensure that the strap will last as long as possible. You can pause here and complete your strap by closing it up, and then you will repeat the steps to create one more strap that is the same size. I've already attached the first strap. I'm going to show you what I did. I did a very simple knotted look. That's just something I was interested in. You can do it from any point, just make sure it's even. I slipped it through the front, pulled it through the back, and tied 2 knots just to secure it. And you will repeat the same thing on the other side. Just make sure that you're spacing out your straps evenly. You might want to do it from different points. You might want them further apart. You might want them closer together. That is completely up to you. This is all about preference. That's it, you're done. That's all there is to it. And like I said earlier, if there's a different strap pattern that you prefer, you can implement that. You could buy straps. Or if you do like these straps but you don't want the knot, you could feed them through the holes and you could sew them together. That's always an option. That's typically what I do, but for this bag I felt like it would be a nice contrast to have the knot. But that is entirely up to you. Now you are free to take this bag out with you to your favorite market, or you could go to the yarn store and get every color of worsted yarn so you can make more of them. The possibilities are endless. Enjoy!